Spring is the season most people panic about egg prices. While your neighbors are complaining about paying $6 for a dozen eggs and rationing their omelets, you could be raising 18 birds that will produce free eggs for your family for years before anyone else even thinks about a solution. And the difference between starting your own flock now versus waiting until prices drop isn't just a few dollars of savings at the grocery store. It's the difference between food independence and food anxiety, between controlling your own protein supply and depending on a system where a single bird flu outbreak sends prices from $2 to $8 overnight. Here are the 18 most productive egg-laying birds you must start raising at home before it's too late. Number 1. ISA brown chickens. ISA browns are the single most productive egg-laying chicken breed on the planet, capable of producing 300 to 350 eggs per year per hen, which means just 4 birds will give an average family more eggs than they can eat, completely eliminating your need to ever buy eggs from a store again. And while most people think raising chickens requires a farm or acres of land, ISA browns thrive in small backyards with as little as 8 square feet of coop space per bird and a modest outdoor run. Buy day-old chicks from a reputable hatchery for $4 to $8 each. Brood them indoors under a heat lamp at 95 degrees Fahrenheit for the first week, reducing the temperature by 5 degrees each week. Feed them chick starter crumble with 18 to 20% protein. And by 18 to 20 weeks, they'll start laying their first eggs, 1 egg a day, almost every single day, for the next 3 to 4 years. Number 2, Rhode Island Reds. Rhode Island Reds are the toughest, most reliable dual-purpose chicken breed you can own, laying 250 to 300 brown eggs per year while tolerating heat, cold, and nearly every climate on Earth, which makes them the perfect breed if you want eggs and peace of mind without babying your flock through every weather change. And unlike high-production hybrids that burn out after 2 years, Rhode Island Reds will keep laying consistently for 4 to 5 years, giving you a much longer return on your investment. The setup is identical to ISA browns. Buy chicks, brood them warm, feed starter crumble, transition to layer feed at 16 weeks. And provide a secure coop with nesting boxes filled with straw or wood shavings. But Rhode Island Reds are also excellent foragers, which means if you let them free range for even a few hours a day, they'll supplement their diet with insects, worms, and greens, reducing your feed bill by 20 to 30%. These first 2 breeds, ISA browns and Rhode Island Reds, are the foundation of egg independence because they produce massively, cost almost nothing to maintain, and you use eggs in almost every meal. Which is why starting them now instead of waiting for prices to stabilize means the difference between spending $500 a year on eggs and spending nothing. Number 3, Leghorns. Leghorns are the breed the commercial egg industry built its entire empire on, producing 280 to 320 large white eggs per year with one of the best feed-to-egg conversion ratios of any chicken, which means they eat less and produce more than almost every other breed on this list. And starting a small flock of Leghorns now means you'll have eggs within 5 months, stacking up in your kitchen faster than you can eat them. Buy chicks or started pullets if you want eggs sooner. House them in a well-ventilated coop with 4 square feet of indoor space per bird and 10 square feet of outdoor run space. Provide layer pellets with 16% protein and crushed oyster shell for strong shells. And collect eggs daily because Leghorns lay so reliably that skipping a day means eggs pile up in the nesting boxes. Number 4, Plymouth Barred Rocks. Barred Rocks are the friendliest egg-laying breed you'll ever own, producing 200 to 250 brown eggs per year while being calm enough for children to hold and gentle enough to coexist with every other breed in a mixed flock. And while their production numbers aren't as extreme as Leghorns or ISA browns, their temperament makes them the perfect starter chicken for families who want eggs and a backyard pet that actually earns its keep. The process is simple. Start with chicks or pullets, provide a standard co-op and run, feed layer ration once they reach laying age around 20 weeks, and enjoy not just eggs, but the entertainment of watching birds with genuine personality follow you around the yard like feathered dogs. Number 5, Australorps. Australorps hold the world record for egg laying, with one hen producing 364 eggs in 365 days under monitored conditions, which means this breed is biologically engineered by decades of selective breeding to do one thing exceptionally well, and that is produce eggs. And in your backyard, a good Australorp will consistently deliver 250 to 280 eggs per year, with rich brown shells and large yolks that make store-bought eggs taste like cardboard by comparison. Buy chicks from a quality breeder, raise them on starter feed, transition to layer pellets at 16 weeks, and provide deep litter bedding in the coop that you simply add to rather than clean out, because the composting layer generates warmth in winter and breaks down into garden-ready fertilizer. Number 6. Golden Comets. Golden Comets are sex-link hybrids, meaning you can tell males from females at birth by their color, which eliminates the frustrating gamble of raising chicks for months only to discover half of them are roosters that don't lay eggs. And Golden Comets start laying earlier than almost any other breed, often at just 15 to 16 weeks, producing 250 to 300 eggs per year with barely any broodiness, which means they almost never stop laying to sit on eggs you don't want them to hatch. Raise them exactly like any other chicken, standard coop, layer feed, fresh water, nesting boxes, and you'll be collecting eggs a full month before your neighbor's barred rocks even think about starting. And here's why these 6 breeds matter more than you think. They represent the difference between buying eggs all year and never buying eggs again. Because ISA Browns, Rhode Island Reds, Leghorns, Barred Rocks, Australorps, and Golden Comets cover your protein needs from January through December if you start them now instead of waiting. Number 7. Khaki Campbell Ducks. Khaki Campbells are the secret weapon that most backyard egg producers completely overlook, because these ducks lay 300 to 340 eggs per year, which rivals or exceeds the best chicken breeds, and their eggs are 30% larger than chicken eggs with richer yolks that bakers and chefs consider far superior for cooking. And here's what makes ducks different from chickens in a critical way. Ducks are virtually immune to the avian influenza strains that have decimated commercial chicken flocks and sent egg prices skyrocketing. So while chicken keepers panic during every bird flu outbreak, duck owners just keep collecting eggs. Provide a simple shelter with deep straw bedding. Give them a shallow water source for washing, not a pond, just a kiddie pool or large tub. Feed them standard waterfowl pellets with 16 to 17% protein. And they'll lay consistently through winter when most chicken breeds slow down or stop entirely. Number 8. Welsh Harlequin Ducks. Welsh Harlequins have the same extraordinary egg production as Khaki Campbells, laying approximately 300 eggs per year, but with a calmer, more docile temperament that makes them easier to manage in suburban backyards where you don't want ducks sprinting away from you every time you enter the yard. And while duck eggs aren't as common as chicken eggs in stores, they sell for $8 to $12 per dozen at farmers markets, which means your surplus eggs become a genuine income stream rather than just savings. The process is identical to Khaki Campbell's: simple shelter, water access, waterfowl feed, deep straw, and patience, because ducks start laying at 5 to 7 months, slightly later than chickens, but then produce for 5 to 8 years compared to a chicken's 3 to 4. Well, now here's where it gets interesting, because the next 4 birds are the ones that separate serious egg producers from hobbyists. These are the birds that need almost no space, fly under HOA restrictions, and produce when chickens can't. Number 9. Coturnix Quail. Coturnix quail are the fastest path from zero to fresh eggs that exists in the poultry world. They start laying at just 6 to 8 weeks old, compared to 18 to 24 weeks for chickens, which means you can go from buying chicks to eating your own eggs in less than 2 months. And because they're classified as game birds, not poultry, most cities and HOAs that ban chickens have no restrictions on quail whatsoever, which means they're the loophole that lets apartment dwellers and suburbanites produce their own eggs legally. I'd house them in a wire-bottom cage or hutch with 1 square foot per bird. Feed them game bird feed with 24 to 28% protein. Provide 14 to 16 hours of light daily for year-round production. And collect eggs daily, because a single Coturnix hen can lay 300 eggs per year. Yes, the eggs are small, about 5 quail eggs to 1 chicken egg, but they're packed with more nutrients per gram and are considered a delicacy in restaurants around the world. Number 10. Jumbo Coturnix Quail. Jumbo Coturnix are the supersized version of standard Coturnix, bred specifically for both egg and meat production, laying eggs that are nearly twice the size of standard Coturnix while maintaining the same incredible 300 egg per year production rate. And the advantage of jumbos is that they serve double duty. Their eggs are large enough to substitute for chicken eggs in most recipes, and when hens stop laying after 2 years, they provide enough meat for a meal, which means nothing is wasted. The housing and feeding requirements are identical to standard Coturnix, but give them slightly more space, about 1.5 square feet per bird, because their larger size means they need room to move comfortably. And unlike chickens that are loud, messy, and obvious, jumbo Coturnix are quiet enough to raise in a garage, basement, or balcony without anyone knowing they're there. Number 11. Muscovy Ducks. Muscovy ducks are the quietest poultry you can own because unlike every other duck breed that quacks loudly enough to annoy your neighbors, Muscovies are virtually silent, with producing only soft hissing and cooing sounds that are quieter than most songbirds. And while their seasonal laying pattern of 80 to 120 eggs per year isn't as prolific as khaki Campbell's, Muscovies are the best natural mothers in the poultry world, hatching and raising their own offspring without incubators, brooders, or any human intervention, which means your flock grows itself for free. Let them free range in your yard where they'll devour mosquitoes, ticks, slugs, and garden pests better than any chemical pesticide. Provide a simple shelter for nighttime protection, and they'll reward you with large, rich eggs and a self-sustaining flock that replaces itself generation after generation without you spending another dime on new birds. Number 12. Easter eggers. The Easter eggers are hybrid chickens that lay eggs in shades of blue, green, pink, and olive, producing 200 to 280 colorful eggs per year that look like decorations straight out of a storybook. And while the color doesn't change the taste or nutrition, it does change the price you can charge if you sell your surplus. Because a dozen multicolored eggs from backyard Easter eggers sell for $6 to $10 at farmers markets, often twice what plain white or brown eggs bring, simply because people will pay a premium for something that looks unique. Start with chicks from a hatchery. Raise them like any standard chicken breed. Provide layer feed in a secure coop. And by 20 weeks, you'll be collecting eggs that your neighbors will literally stop and ask about. These 6 birds, from khaki Campbell's to Easter eggers, represent the backbone of a diversified egg operation because they cover different environments, regulations, and market niches. And raising them together means you're not just producing eggs, you're building a food system that doesn't depend on grocery stores or government policies. Number 13. Sussex chickens. Sussex chickens are one of the oldest heritage breeds in existence, developed over centuries in England to lay 250 eggs per year, while also providing excellent meat, which makes them the original dual-purpose bird that feeds your family 2 ways from a single animal. And unlike modern hybrids that stop laying after 2 years, Sussex hens remain productive for 5 to 7 years, which means your initial investment of $5 to $15 per chick pays dividends for the better part of a decade. Buy chicks from a heritage breeder, raise them on quality feed, provide 4 square feet of coop space and 10 square feet of run per bird, and let them forage when possible, because Sussex chickens are one of the best foraging breeds, reducing their feed costs significantly while producing eggs with deep orange yolks that reflect their varied natural diet. Number 14. Brahma chickens. Brahmas are gentle giants weighing 10 to 12 pounds, and they have one trait that makes them uniquely valuable. They continue laying through winter when most other breeds slow down or stop entirely, producing 150 to 200 eggs per year, with their peak laying happening in the coldest months, October through March, exactly when egg prices are highest and supply is shortest. And because of their massive size and feathered legs, Brahmas tolerate cold better than any other chicken breed, never needing supplemental heating in the coop, which saves you electricity costs that other chicken keepers pay throughout winter. House them in a coop with slightly more headroom than standard chickens because of their size. Feed layer pellets, and appreciate that while they aren't the highest producers, they fill the exact production gap that leaves most backyard chicken keepers buying eggs in winter. Number 15. Americanas. Americanas are the purebred version of Easter eggers, laying consistent blue eggs, 200 to 250 per year, with a reliability and breed standard that Easter eggers lack because Americanas breed true, while Easter eggers are genetic wildcards, and here's why that matters. If you want to breed your own replacement layers instead of buying new chicks every few years, Americana hens crossed with an Americana rooster will produce chicks that grow into hens that lay the same blue eggs, generation after generation, which means your flock becomes self-perpetuating and truly free. The setup is standard: good coop, layer feed, clean water, nesting boxes. But add a rooster and an incubator, or let a broody hen do the work, and you'll never buy another chicken again. And here's the critical insight most people miss. These last 6 birds, from Sussex to guinea fowl, are the ones that create permanent egg security, which means raising them isn't just about saving money this year. It's about building a system that produces free protein for decades. Number 16. Welsumers. Welsumers lay some of the most beautiful eggs in the poultry world, deep terracotta brown with dark speckles, producing 200 to 250 eggs per year that are so visually striking that they command premium prices at farmers markets and make your egg basket look like something from a magazine. And beyond aesthetics, Welsumers are hardy, independent, excellent foragers and rarely go broody, which means they spend their energy laying eggs instead of trying to sit on them. Raise them like any heritage breed: standard co-op, layer feed, outdoor access for foraging, and collect those gorgeous speckled eggs daily, because they'll become the first ones your friends and neighbors ask for when they see what your flock produces. Number 17. Runner ducks. Indian runner ducks are the most entertaining poultry you'll ever own because they stand completely upright like bowling pins and run instead of waddle. But don't let their comedy fool you, because runners lay 250 to 300 eggs per year, rivaling the best chicken breeds while being hardier, more disease-resistant, and better at pest control than any chicken alive. And runner ducks are the best slug and snail destroyers in the animal kingdom, which means placing them in your garden eliminates pests without chemicals, while the ducks feed themselves for free on the very creatures destroying your plants. Provide a simple shelter and water source. Feed waterfowl pellets to supplement their foraging, and watch your garden thrive and your egg basket overflow simultaneously, because runner ducks solve 2 problems at once. Number 18. Guinea fowl. Guinea fowl are the most underrated egg producer and the ultimate homestead security system combined into one bird, laying 100 to 150 seasonally rich and flavorful eggs per year while patrolling your property and sounding an alarm louder than any dog at the sight of predators, strangers, or snakes. And guinea fowl will eat every tick on your property, consuming thousands per day, which means they don't just produce eggs, they protect your family from Lyme disease while guarding your other poultry from hawks, foxes, and raccoons. Start with Keats, which are guinea chicks, and brood them at 95 degrees Fahrenheit just like chicken chicks. Feed them game bird starter with high protein. Transition to a lower protein maintenance feed as adults. And let them free range during the day, because guinea fowl need space and freedom to do what they do best, which is patrol, eat pests, and sound the alarm on anything that doesn't belong. These 18 birds represent the foundation of a productive egg system that will feed you from January through December, year after year, for pennies on the dollar. And the key insight is that right now isn't a time for complaining about egg prices, it's a time for action. Because every week you delay is a week further from egg independence. And in the world of food security, time is the one resource you can never get back. Your egg independence starts now, not when prices drop, not when bird flu subsides, but when you actually set up a coop and bring home your first birds while everyone else complains about the price of eggs at the grocery store. The people who achieve food independence are the ones who understand that the solution doesn't come from Washington or from Walmart. It starts in your own backyard when you're setting up a brooder while your neighbors are scrolling through egg shortage headlines, when you're collecting your first warm egg from a nesting box while everyone else is rationing their last carton, when you're selling surplus eggs to your coworkers for $5 a dozen while they're paying $8. This is the moment that separates the people who talk about self-sufficiency from the people who actually achieve it.